I got a question from a friend of mine, Stephan, about interpretation I got to say it's nice to have human interaction. Even as an introvert, I have to talk to people about things that interest me. My name is Dan Paulson. I'm an independent researcher. This question comes from the book of John, and I'm so focused in Genesis on working on things and understanding a background numbering concept that I'm not really down there. But the question is a simple one, and the answer is a simple one. And it appears like it's the conceptual reading that's going to get us there. Let me interpret what I see here, and then I'll talk to you more about the conceptual reading. Okay, so his question was, I'm sending this what it seems to me that we need to consume our past, our memories, something along those lines. But I've forgotten what the Son of Man represents in this context, and the Son of God also. John 6:53. Truly I tell you, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you. Okay, you know what? That's going to be a super simple one. It doesn't sound like it, though, does it? It appears first in Genesis, and I just covered this recently. It's different verbiage, but let's go look at it there, and we'll understand what the concept of that is up there, and then when we come here, we'll apply the same thing. It's the same concept, just different verbiage carrying it. All right, Genesis, what we have here in the punishment of Adam and Eve after their sin in the garden. Okay, this is in the Chapter 3 video that I just did on the Genesis project, the deep dive. And what we have right here as we get going, this is Chapter 3. This is the first sin and its punishment. So all of that happens, and we get down to here, and right at verse 17 is where we see this. God is doling out the punishment. And what this represents is us beginning to live our life experiences. This is the consciousness unto our conscience, he said, because we are now experiencing what we have taken on inside of us and have eaten of the tree, we're going to now live from the world experience, unknown to us. We're going to go out and live life judging life. We're eating it. Judging it is eating it. We're eating what we're not supposed to, but we're doing it anyway. So cursed is the ground. Our life is going to be screwed. In sorrow you shall eat of it all the days of your life. We're going to be living from the fruits of the labor of our life while we're mentally unaware of that. And it's going to suck. It's going to be whatever we judge is going to be we're living within. Eating should be clearly defined here as an analog. That means learning and believing, storing something away. I believe this. I hate that. I like this. Whatever, all of that right there, that is very specifically what it means. It is a mental process. It's not just something said. In fact, right now, watching this video and listening to me, you are consuming from the knowledge, from that pool. I'm doing the same thing as well with the material and with you. We're eating, spiritually interacting and learning and engaging and growing in some manner. Spiritual consumption. Thorns and thistles, our garden, it's the garden of our life experience. It shall bring forth to you, and you shall eat the herb of the field. We're going to consume what we plant. Good or bad. In this case, it's going bad. So that's a part of life right there. Ultimately, when you step back and look at it, that's really not the commanding and things going on. It's held in a religious teaching that is meant to explain where life comes from. What is actually nested in there is our own life experience, and that when we're going to start off in life, we're going to begin judging life, and we're going to be living from the judgments that we make in life completely unaware of it, and it's going to affect us in an adverse way. As the story rolls along, time is going to go by, we're going to learn stuff, things are going to get so bad, and finally we're going to turn inward. But this step right here very specifically is you're going to live your first part of your life unaware that you're just judging what you're seeing instead of being detached from it. But that's how you need to learn to start with. Now it's time to detach. Let's go to John and see what that sounds like. Okay, so there's a couple of verses I'm going to read leading up to it. I'm not going to go through a big thing because I know you just asked a short question, and I can go, I know I could sit here and talk for an hour. And, okay, so he's telling him that he's the bread of life and that the bread that they need to eat comes from heaven, and that if they eat that, they won't die. So they're talking about, in the physical world, you would go, what kind of bread is that? In the spiritual world is what we're looking for. Bread is going to be something that you consume spiritually. It's the way you live your life. What do you eat on a day-to-day basis? And then you become a part of what you eat. It's life experience. What are we consuming in life? It can come from heaven, detached, or it can come from the world experience. Oh, wait a minute. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever, and the bread of that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world. So the flesh thing there is, flesh is typically going to be something that is manifest. We see it appears 13 times here, which puts it as a bad thing on the list. I'm not going to do that interpretation part there, though. I think it's important to keep making these cross-references. If you were to read the Tao Te Ching right up front, what it's saying is that caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. That means the desire means that what the thing that you've named. Caught in what you've named, you see the return of it. That's the same thing here. The word is naming something, and then the flesh from it is the manifestation from it. That's it. It's something that emerges from a thought to life. It becomes real. It becomes manifest. As within, so without. What we hide inside comes out anyway, doesn't it? We have to be honest with ourselves. There's a point you have to look at this in a completely different way. It's all you. So here's what's going on. Jesus said to them, Verily, verily, I say to you, except ye eat of the flesh of the Son of Man and drink of his blood, you have no life in you. The Son of Man is, what are you consuming from? The Son of Man is you when you are of the world experience. The Son of Man, I am of the world experience. The Son of God is somebody who lives from the higher awareness. So if you eat of the world experience and drink of that, all of that life experience, then you have no life in you. Physically, it sounds like, whoa, eating flesh and blood, what the hell? That's crazy. So you have to turn this into a spiritual thing and say that those are analogous terms. Whoever eat of my flesh, whoever consumes from my knowledge, drink my blood, has eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. That's the turning inward right there. And yeah, so let me back out here. Okay, so the flesh is something that the word becomes flesh. It's like if you were looking at Taoism, the naming is the origin of all particular things. As soon as I make a decision that I like or I don't like that, boom, it exists within my world, and it becomes a part of me. And naming is the origin of 10,000 things. When you look through this material, every time you see God telling somebody in Genesis, I will give you all of this land and to all of your offspring, as many as of whatever, that's it right there. Naming is the origin of 10,000 things. I will give you all this land to you and all of your offspring. Whatever your life is going to become right here. You can see the template restarts at those points right there. Every time you see those are sequencing on a template. All right, so in this case, it's, do you live from the flesh of the world experience? I have a world experience, and that is me consuming it. I'm learning how things are and how it sucks, and I make decisions that way. Then one day I go, wow, I'm living through this. I need to live through a higher self. I need to not live through the Son of Man, myself, my own physical world experience, the man experiences, the conscious experiences. I need to live from a detached experience, from a higher experience. Okay, hope that makes sense. The conceptual reading, that's the tough part. That's how these things unlock. It's something you have to train your brain to do. I realize that now. It's something that I'm getting better and better at as I continue to do it. You can do that. I can't emphasize enough these examples that are very simple and benign. An anchored ship cannot sail. The goat chained in the yard cannot escape. The dog tied to the tree cannot run away. The ball tethered to the pole cannot fly away. And people would go, those are all 4 different things. What are you talking about? You're not looking for what is, you're looking for what that is carrying. There's a concept in there. And when you find the concept, they're all 4 exactly the same thing. And first of all, I am that I am. All right, so I'm the ship. As long as I'm anchored, I can't set free. I'm the goat. As long as I'm chained, I can't run away. I'm the dog. As long as I'm tied, I can't escape. I'm the ball. As long as I'm tethered, I can't fly away. All of that is what we're looking for. Not what is different in those, but what is nested in the verbiage that has to do with my mind and my life experience. And that's what you have to do with all these, except they're old. We're not in their culture. The words seem foreign to us. We're taught the outer understanding of them and not the inner understanding. Okay, I hope that answers the question. This is a common thing that's happening. It's going to sound more and more aggressive as time goes by. It's taking on different verbiage and a different meaning in the population. It is. All right. Stephan. Love you, brother. See you in the next video.